we saw Inside Out 2.
We did.
First, let's talk non-spoilers, and then we'll do spoilers. If you haven't seen Inside Out 2 and don't want to be spoiled, make sure you check the time codes in the description.
Okay.
So, without spoilers, what is the story of Inside Out 2?
Without spoilers?
Yeah, without spoilers.
Riley hits the puberty age.
13.
And she gets new emotions that are introduced into headquarters.
Yep.
With the original emotions. And she goes away to camp.
Yep, a hockey camp.
Well, I didn't know if that was too much.
I think it's okay to say it's a hockey camp.
She goes away to a hockey camp and has to figure out how her old life and her new life are going to work together going forward.
Yeah, how she manages her relationships with her current friends and then meeting new
high school friends.
So, yeah. What did you think? What were your thoughts?
I thought it was really good. There were a couple times where I was like, who is this movie for?
Sure, I get that.
Because, so we have an almost 13-year-old. Mm-hmm. We also have an almost 5-year-old. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's very interesting to me that this is going to hold little kids' attention because it's so heavily story.
Yeah.
And like mature themes. Mm-hmm. Not like super mature, but mature-ish.
Yeah.
But she loved it, and she was entertained.
The 5-year-old.
Yeah, she was entertained the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think Lily liked it.
Yeah.
We haven't really, discussed a lot of it. And then, as a mom, I really liked it for different reasons. And someone who has mental health.
Yeah, I think we'll talk more about that in spoilers.
Yeah, so, I am someone that I have an anxiety diagnosis among some specific things when it comes to anxiety, and so having anxiety as a character introduced, a lot of it was I don't know, so but
I think it's anytime they do a sequel to a Pixar movie, you always get nervous because they're so good at doing original stories. Is this movie just going to feel like a cash grab? Like
Toy Story 4?
Yeah, I mean, I don't 100% agree with that because I will defend Toy Story 4.
I know a lot of people like it. I don't love it,
but I would say Toy Story 4 and the upcoming Toy Story 5
and Monsters University.
Yeah,
I didn't
need Finding Dory.
No,
but I would say Inside Out 2 isn't like that.
No.
I feel like it's a genuinely great story that adds to the first one.
Honestly, I don't even think you'd need to see the first one to see the second one.
No, I don't. I don't either.
Understand everything and know what's going on. And,
but it doesn't tarnish the first one's legacy.
Oh no, it's just a different stage of life.
Yeah, I genuinely think of when they talk about movies that are what's one that's better than the original or just as good as the original. You could say Inside Out 2.
I don't know that's better than the original. I would say just as good. For me, it's not better. Yeah. But for you, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm trying hard. It's hard to not talk spoilers.
We can just go into that section if you'd like.
Let's just jump into spoilers. Okay. One thing that I loved about it is that anxiety is I would say it's the antagonist of the movie, but she never feels like the villain because she they gave her a great motivation and how she is trying to keep Riley safe. And you can understand where she's coming from. And she, as we learned in the first Inside Out, all emotions are valid. All emotions have a place in development, and anxiety is one of them. And the message of the movie, what I was concerned about was is the message of this movie going to be, we need to stop anxiety? Or is it, and I'm glad it's not, because it is more of we need to manage anxiety.
Yes, because you can't stop emotions.
Yeah.
If you could, I would have. Years ago, I would have done anything to. So, yeah. The part that got me and made me cry, and I will talk with my therapist about, was the part where they were our job as emotions aren't to control who she is. She has to be who she is, and we're just here.
Yeah.
we don't run her life.
Yeah.
So when anxiety creates the panic attack,
Yeah.
where she's like spinning around the desk and she can't be stopped and she's like frozen and Joy like has to go intervene, like that was good.
Yeah. And that's Joy's kind of arc throughout the movie is learning that she can't control who Riley is.
And Riley can't always be happy.
Yeah.
Another that line,
I was just gonna bring that up.
so there's like a part in it, it's like it's the, what do you call it in the movie
the all is lost,
yeah,
is, in screenwriting terms.
So the characters are off trying to collect like Riley's personality, like her core values,
her sense of self,
that anxiety threw away. And when Joy feels like there's nothing they can do, and she has this like moment where she's like, maybe part of growing up is just like not having joy anymore. And it's just like, oh
yeah, it's like maybe when you get older you have less joy.
Just so much tears. And then like her realizing that that's not the case. It's just when you do get older, there's so many more things that you understand and that you aren't as happy as you were when you were like 5.
Yeah. So yeah, do you think, as a person who has to manage anxiety and has like read books and books and books on anxiety and, the steps you have taken to manage yours, do you feel like this hits differently than like, I don't know, an average person?
Well, did you cry?
Did I cry? I cried more at the first one than this one.
Because that's about depression.
Well, yeah, maybe.
The first one is about depression. So for me, it hit me so much when they all came together and they hugged Riley. Yeah. Like as much as they could ever touch or get close to Riley, it was like that pedestal where her sense of self was. And when all the emotions came and they hugged her, it was just like this like moment of like, we love you and we're here for you.
Yeah.
Like that really got me. And I think it's because a lot of my anxiety really is that character. It's like planning ahead, what could go wrong, thinking about the worst case scenario.
All the worst case scenarios.
So that you can like control it and stop it. And so seeing her like that, like her like knowing that like little anxiety was just trying to help, but she just got too out of control. That was like, that's it. Like, it's so interesting. So a really good book my therapist had us get and read to Charlie, who shows some signs of anxiety, because I think my anxiety is something that has come generationally. It's like, it is in me. I'm sure my cousins and family all have it. It just manifests differently in people. And the book is like about the amygdala and like making the amygdala a character and like talking to it. And so seeing it in Inside Out as like a character, I just think will help so many kids and like parents. Yeah. And like for Inside Out, the first Inside Out, I think that was really good at describing like depression and like that you just get to a point where all of your emotions, they don't know what to do. Yeah. So it's kind of like that again. And I think it was really good. And I'm sure for people who have mental health issues, I hate saying mental health issues, just people who maybe have dysregulation more, neurodivergence, things like that. I think it's just a good visual for people, for kids to be able to see, because there's probably kids like, in preschool, Charlie had little kids who have neurodivergent or like different things. Yeah. And it's like, it helps them see and like put together like, oh, their brain's doing something. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I think the film does a great job of like explaining what anxiety is, and in the sense that it's just like it's planning for all possible outcomes, and like trying to plan for the future in any possible scenario, and it shows how that can be a good thing and a bad thing. Like there's a part in the film where Joy gets Riley into trouble. It's early in the film, but like it's anxiety who is able to like put her on the right path to like, you do need to worry and plan a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just when, the anxiety gets a little out of control that it becomes an issue.
Right. And I think that's a nice thing about the growing up aspect of Riley in this too, is that Joy just always wants to take over, and like showing that there are times when you have to be like serious or be, not on Goofball Island.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when Family Island, so the islands, they're such a big part of
Riley's personality.
And in this one, Family Island is like dark and so tiny next to Friend Island, and it's like, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I remember that,
13.
and like we see that with Lily.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just like, and then when Riley's mom just like is like, "Hi, good morning," and Riley just like, "Don't talk to me," and it's just like, luckily we have that more with her than we do with Lily, but
more with our 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you recommend this movie?
I would recommend this movie because, well, like I said, there were a couple parts where I was watching it where I was like, I don't know if like the colors are there and the characters are there, and like Charlie's been watching Inside Out for like 3 weeks, like every day. So she's really attached to the characters. But I don't know if like it was the first time her being introduced to it, if she would have liked it as much.
Sure.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'll put it this way. Like, she never got out of her seat.
No.
And she, a lot of movies, she will try to get up and she'll try and walk around a little bit, or she'll like hop between seats, or like she needs to sit on people's laps.
Maybe it's because we didn't give her Oreos this time, though.
Oh yeah, there's also that. We didn't let her get
normally she gets the little bag of Oreos. Yeah. So
there's also that. Now, she was flipping and flopping in her seat a little bit. Like, there'd be times when I'd see she'd flipped and her feet were up in the air.
Yeah.
And I know she was snuggling with Lily in parts.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think if you are someone who has seen the first one, definitely see it. I think if you haven't seen the first one, but like, you just want like a feel good movie, see it. I think if you have like preteens, really see it.
Yeah.
And if you have mental health issues, especially like anxiety issues, you should definitely see it.
Okay, so I'm introducing our new movie scale for whenever we do these reviews.
Oh, okay.
There's 3 categories. I want you to put it in one of these categories. You ready? Okay. This will probably change. I don't know if we'll stick to this, but as of now, this is what our movie rating scale is.
Okay.
Is it a see it in the theater? Is it a wait for streaming? Or is it a not for me?
I think it's a see it in the theater.
I would agree. It's a see it in the theater.
Because I think a lot of that, too, is so our worst nightmare happened and we had to sit by people at the theater because it was super packed.
Yeah.
And the people I was sitting next to, I think it was parents and an older daughter. And before the movie, they were like talking about really heavy stuff going on in our community. And I was just like, okay, this is like...
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
Oh, well, I did. And I was just like, okay, this is like real heavy conversation for like read the room where we are.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, I heard like the older daughter say like, I feel really seen right now. Like, I feel like I need to go, like, have a minute. Yeah. And it was just kind of like... Yeah, I don't know.
I'd agree. See it in the theater.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks for watching. If you're like us and you love Disney and Universal, make sure to check out the Big Thunder podcast, the wildest podcast in the wilderness.
There's new episodes every week, and we're always playing fun but ultimately stupid games.
We'll see you next time.
And enjoy the ride.